God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Lucifer, concealing himself inside a serpent, meaning a snake, tempted man with the knowledge of good and evil. Lucifer taught man that he was to decide for himself what was right and wrong. And if he knew what was right and wrong, he would not need God. And if he knew right and wrong, he would become as God. God is the father of all moral law. He taught man a whole series of laws through the commandments, some of which he wrote on stone. He taught man what was right and wrong. Many of them were simply written as, thou shalt not, and thou shalt. Mr. Pike told us what the morality of the Masons was in his book entitled Morals and Dogma on pages 833 and 834. Albert Pike wrote, it is not true to say one man, however little, must not be sacrificed to another, however great, to a majority, or to all men. That is not only a fallacy, but a most dangerous one. Often one man and many men must be sacrificed in the ordinary sense of the word to the interests of the many. The interest and even the life of one man must often be sacrificed to the interest and welfare of his country. The God of the Bible taught mankind that sacrificing the life of one man for the sake of another was murder. And he further taught us that murder was not morally permissible. He taught us quite simply, thou shalt not murder. But here Albert Pike was telling us that murder was acceptable as long as the welfare of the country was advanced. This is also called situation ethics. Murder is acceptable as long as the situation warrants. This is the morality of the Masonic Lodge. It has been written in their book about the morals of the Masonic Order. Remember that Pike's book was entitled Morals and Dogma. Once you've made the leap to approving the murder of someone because you feel it will benefit the many, it is easy to murder millions. The New Age religion is also advocating the murder of millions. Two authors, Lafferty and Bud Hollowell, two New Agers, started the discussion about how their religion sanctions the use of violence against the Christian community. They wrote the following in their book entitled The Eternal Dance. This is not very pleasant, but we have to read it because it affects all of us. This is a time of opportunity for those who will take it. Apparently he is referring to those who believe in the New Age religion. For others, apparently he is referring to those who will not accept the New Age religion if the earth is unsuitable for them, meaning once again, if they will not accept the New Age religion, they will go on to other worlds. So those who will not accept the New World Order will be forced to go on to other worlds. It sounds as if he's talking about murder because some will not want to go on to other worlds. Another New Age spokesman, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, the guru sought out by the rock and roll group known as the Beatles, shown here in these two slides. There's the Yogi where it is in the right hand corner, and two of the Beatles shown in this TV picture taken off a TV set. And here they are again. There's two of them, and the Maharishi Yogi, whatever his name is, in the back. This new guru has been quoted as saying, listen to this, there has not been and there will not be a place for the unfit. It appears as if he's talking about those who will not accept the New Age religion, primarily those who call themselves Christians. The fit will lead, and if the unfit are not coming along, meaning if they will not accept the New Age religion, there is no place for them. In the age of enlightenment, here he's referring to the New World Order, there is no place for them. Others have told us just how many of the population will go into the New World Order. Ruth Montgomery, a New Ager, has written in the following in a magazine called Magical Blend. Millions will survive and millions won't. Those who won't will go into the spirit state because there is truly no death. Another has made an estimate of the number of those who will perish. One who has made such an estimate is John Randolph Price, who was quoted by Tex Mars in his book about the New Age. He said that John Randolph Price was told by his spirit guide. By the way, a spirit guide is supposedly a being that communicates to Mr. Price from another plane. So he was told that up to 2.5 billion, with a B, billion, might perish in the coming chaos. If up to 2.5 billion might perish, then up to about half of the current world population will have to perish. But perhaps the most startling example of the teachings of this New Age religion came from the pen of Barbara Marx Hubbard, one of their most influential writers. She wrote in her book entitled Happy Birthday, Planet Earth, hold on, this is not pleasant at all. The choice is, do you wish to become a natural Christ, a universal human, or do you wish to die? I'll read it again. The choice is, do you wish to become a natural Christ, a universal human, or do you wish to die? People will either change or die. That is the choice. I think it is important to repeat that quotation just so you, the viewer, will understand what she said. People will either change or die. That is the choice. You will accept the New World Order or die. That is the choice. Notice, I'm not saying this. I'm using the writings of those who believe in the New World Order. And I'm quoting from the #1 Mason of all time. Someone else said about the same thing about this dying. Adolf Hitler, the head of the German government during World War II, and another who believed in the New Age religion, also felt that he had the power to exterminate the few to benefit the many, just like Albert Pike. He wrote this. Hitler wrote, I have the right to exterminate millions of individuals of inferior races which multiply like vermin. But all of this has been predicted in the Holy Bible. John in the New Testament wrote this, Yea, the time cometh that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth God service. He was writing about the Masons and the New Agers of today nearly 2,000 years ago. It will be interesting and extremely provocative at this time to give you the view of the scriptures that talk about the tempting of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden from the pen of Albert Pike, the #1 Mason of his time. This is how Mr. Pike sees these events, and he wrote this on page 567 of his book entitled Morals and Dogma. The demons forbade Adam to eat the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. The Bible said that it was the triune God, the creator God, that forbade Adam and Eve from eating from the tree. Here Mr. Pike says that the triune God, the creator God, in three persons is three demons, or at least demons, plural. So he's talking about the God of the Bible forbade Adam, because the God of the Bible is a demon. Mr. Pike continues, by which he would have known the empire of light and that of darkness. He, meaning man, obeyed, an angel of light induced him to transgress. So Mr. Pike thinks that the God of the Bible is a demon God and that Lucifer is an angel of light. That thought is consistent with the other quotes from Albert Pike about Lucifer, Satan, the devil. That is how the Masons see the message of this account in Genesis. Notice I'm quoting the man who wrote it himself. I'd like to return once again to the thoughts of Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, another Luciferian, who you might recall founded an occult organization called the Theosophical Society. I'd like to quote once again from her book entitled The Secret Doctrine, in which she adds her interpretation of the events in the book of Genesis. Adam, born an image of clay, into which the Lord God, notice she did not capitalize the G, the letter G, in the word God as one does when one refers to the Creator God, the God of the Bible. So this Creator God, or this God, breathes the breath of life, but not of intellect and discrimination, which are developed only after he has tasted of the fruit of the tree of knowledge. In other words, when he has acquired the first development of mind. She continued, it is but natural to view Satan, the serpent of Genesis, as the real creator and benefactor, the father of spiritual mankind. For it is he who was the harbinger of light, bright, radiant Lucifer, who opened the eyes of the automaton created by Jehovah. And he who was the first to whisper, in the day ye eat thereof, ye shall be as Elphim, knowing good and evil, can only be regarded in the light of a Savior. So in the Bible, Lucifer is telling man that he doesn't need God to tell him what is right and wrong. He can decide for himself. This view of morality is called situation ethics. This is the philosophy taught in our public schools all over America today. Situation ethics teaches that each man is to decide for himself what is right and wrong. Man is to be free to make his own decisions about morality. Man must be completely free to use his mind, his brain, his reason. Perhaps the most cogent condensation of this philosophy is the statement made by one who believed it. Nothing is forbidden, everything is permitted. I will continue the discussion of situation ethics in the next section. This is Shirley MacLaine, the motion picture actress, the author of this and other books on the New Age religion. She has also spoken out about situation ethics. She has written comments like these: there is no such thing as evil. Evil is fear and uncertainty. Evil is what you think it is. Shirley agreed with Zena LaVey, the daughter of Church of Satan founder Anton LaVey. She appeared in an interview taped in 1989 with Bob Larson, a talk show host that he chose to call the First Family of Satanism. And during that interview, she said, there is no such thing as evil. She said, morality is a relative issue and nobody can decide good and evil. Zena appeared with Nicholas Schreck, the founder of a satanic group called the Werewolf Coven. A coven is, of course, a group of witches. Among the things Mr. Schreck said during the interview are these thoughts. What the 90s are going to see is a massive rise of Satanism. He said, people are going to come out of the shadows and reveal themselves as thoroughgoing Satanists. Because what we are seeing now is the death struggle between the Judeo-Christian idea and archetype and the more ancient satanic archetype. And he made these statements about the satanic view of morality. Nothing is mandatory. He said, we are animal beasts, and we decide from our gut instinct whether we have been wronged or not. He said, we decide what is right and wrong. He said, there is no such thing as good and evil. Morality is a relative issue, and nobody can decide what is good and evil. He offered these thoughts on Adolf Hitler, the initiate who killed 53 million people to create the New World Order on this earth. No one can call Hitler's extermination of 6 million Jews evil. He went on to say Hitler was a masterful black magician. And I'll end his contribution to the subject with these thoughts of his on the Christian religion. He said, the Christian religion is evil because it is negative. You, meaning the Christians, base Christianity on a fictional character. Christ is a fairy tale. So here we can see that the Satanic Church agrees with many inside the Masonic Lodge, the New Age religion, and socialists and communists. Another who expressed a similar idea was Aleister Crowley, another Satan worshiper. I'll talk more about him a little later in this lecture, but at this point I'll leave it at this. He wrote that his moral philosophy consisted of this single statement: do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law. And the Masons agree. Albert Pike wrote, reason is